This is the second most popular starting move. A proactive response that battles for the center. The queen's gambit temporarily offers a wing pawn to attack the center, threatening to remove black's defense of the e4 square. Starting the positional battle of a queen's gambit declined. Knight c3 puts more pressure on the d5 square and helps control the e4 square. Bishop e7 develops the bishop without committing the knight to f6. C takes d5 captures the d5 pawn and attacks the e6 pawn. E takes d5 captures the d5 pawn and allows the light-squared bishop to develop. Bishop f4 develops the bishop to an active diagonal, where it attacks the c7 pawn and controls the center. c6 supports the d5 pawn and allows the queen to develop on the queen side. e3 supports the d4 pawn and allows the light-squared bishop to develop. This moves the bishop to a more active square, making it gain scope. This is an equal trade. A clear recapture. Developing the bishop and increasing influence in the center. Black develops the knight and attacks the center. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. Very precise. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. This offers an equal trade of pieces. Applying pressure to black's pawn chain. The better move was to castle kingside. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is an equal trade. Recaptures from a previous move. This misses a better way to connect rooks. Both kings are castled and ready for the middle game. A very strong play. A solid choice. The best option was to take an open file with a rook. Right on target. One of the best moves. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. A very strong play. Now white can't stop black from winning a pawn if they make the right moves. This takes an outpost, a square where the knight cannot be kicked out by a pawn. Taking that knight will win material after the follow-up trades are made. A straightforward recapture. A clear recapture. This develops a piece while also winning a tempo on a queen. This move puts the queen on a safer square. This gives away a free pawn. This misses an opportunity to capture a free pawn. This stops the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. A straightforward recapture. The best option was to defend a pawn that was under attack. This allows the opponent to take an outpost with a rook. This is the only good move. The rook is on a strong square where it has activity. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. The rook is now on an open file which helps control squares across the board. This threatens to push a passed pawn. This wins a tempo by threatening a rook and forcing it to move away. This avoids clear danger. This is a fair move. Black's piece has moved to a square with greater activity and control. White was worse off, but now they are in a losing position. After all captures, this is an equal trade. A clear recapture. This places a rook on the 7th rank, where it can be highly active. This defends the attacked pawn. This is the strongest option. Very precise. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This threatens to take an open file with a rook. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. Right on target. The better move was to activate the king by getting it off of the back rank. This is an equal trade. A straightforward recapture. The best option was to activate the king by getting it off of the back rank. This activates a rook by getting it to the 7th rank and also restricts the king. This is the strongest option. The better move was to create a passed pawn. This permits the opponent to activate the king by getting it off of the back rank. An active king is critical in the endgame, and getting it off of the back rank is the first step. This activates the king in the endgame by getting it off of the back rank. This allows the opponent to eventually win a pawn. That's fine. The rook is now on an open file which helps control squares across the board. This is the only move that works. This steps away from the checking rook. Very precise. Black still has an advantage, but they no longer have a winning position. This evades the check from the rook. A solid choice. Black was better off, but now their position is winning. Right on target. One of the best moves. This steps away from the checking rook. This takes an open file, a common method for activating a rook. This evades the check from the rook. A very strong play. This makes a passed pawn. This steps away from the checking rook. This moves the pawn to safety. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is the strongest option. A solid choice. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. That was a free pawn. Pushing a passed pawn. Placing a rook behind an opposing passed pawn can inhibit the pawn's ability to promote. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. The correct move to safety. This puts the rook behind the other player's passed pawn. White eliminates the black's passed pawn, removing a future threat. Pushing a passed pawn. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. Pushing a passed pawn. This move puts the pawn on a safer square. Black successfully removes the opponent's passer. White eliminates the black's passed pawn, removing a future threat. Pushing a passed pawn. Very precise. Right on target. This steps away from the checking rook. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. This is the strongest option. One of the best moves. This steps away from the checking rook. Now, white can't stop black from winning a rook if they make the right moves.